I want to take you to this now. Now, we know that cell phone snatching is a common crime. The cell phone snatcher who was recently captured on camera snatching the phone of a lady arriving at an establishment in Brooklyn on the east of Pretoria was apprehended. The assailant was quickly identified after a video of him snatching the phone was uploaded on social media and circulated quite well. The suspect was arrested and is now out on bail. To help us unpack the growing trend of cell phone snatching and related crimes, we speak to crime analyst Tabang Bohopa. Tabang, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. A cell phone is a relatively easy to steal and easy to mug type of product and appliance, right? People often walk around with their phone in their hands, and as you know, a snatcher who would be quite alert would be able to snatch it quite easily, jump in a car and make their way off. That's typically how it happens, and it's a very common crime in South Africa. Almost so common that very few people actually report it. And just hope that the insurance would be able to cover it. But there are many who are uninsured, and there are many for who that cell phone is the only way to connect with the world, and no other means exist. And for many, this would be a great inconvenience. Some would even lose their livelihoods and income as a result of a cell phone snatching. What recourse to those who have the cell phone snatch have in South Africa? What are the recovery numbers, if we know it at all?
Thank you so much. Indeed, the stats show us that only 36% of the snatched cell phones are actually being reported. But that is also detrimental because the network providers actually cannot get to list those cell phones. It means that those cell phones can easily go back into the market as pre-used cell phones. And that is causing a very big dent to the law enforcement of our country, because now it is trending that especially the high or the upmarket cell phones, they are being reused in the market. They are being sold as pre-loved or pre-used. So what we should be encouraging is that whenever your cell phone is being snatched, everyone who has suffered that loss must report it to the police station and make sure that they notify their network providers so that actually those cell phones can be blacklisted so that they do not re-enter the market. Of course, we are aware that in the black market, they might try to bring it back through changing some of or modifying some of the elements of the phone itself. But at their face value, some of the phones will not be back to the market and be reused or resold as pre-used.
Yeah. I've had the misfortune of a cell phone of mine being stolen. When I tried to track the cell phone, it was off and I was unable to track it. The very next time it came on and it was trackable, it was somewhere in Asia, very specifically in Pakistan. And that seems to be quite the common trend for a lot of people whose cell phones are stolen and or snatched. You either find it in somewhere along East or West Africa or in parts of Central and East Asia. Talk to me about how that market functions. Why is it that a cell phone leaves the country oftentimes when it's been snatched and not circulating back into the domestic market?
So the market for pre-used cell phones, particularly the high or the upmarket cell phones, normally your iPhones, it's a global market. I want to start with an example. When I was in Paris recently, I had to buy an iPhone, a pre-used iPhone, because I wanted high quality photos. So what leaves the country normally, it's just the antenna, a very micro piece of the cell phone, not the entire cell phone. So they would sell the cell phone to a pre-used or second-hand dealer in an upmarket area or in CBD, and they would simply just remove the antenna of the phone and go and exchange it elsewhere in another country. So when yours is stolen in South Africa, it will be resold in South Africa, but with an antenna from another country. So there's always that exchange of just the micro antennas only of the phone, not the physical cell phone. And I think this is high time that the South African Police Services, particularly the Flash, which deals with second-hand goods, must go and inspect these second-hand dealers regularly, to an extent that some of these cell phones must be re-verified against ICASA and also against the RICA information of the phones, so that if any previously stolen phone is found at that dealer, there can be serious recourse for that dealer.
Are we not doing that proactively, Tabang? Are second-hand dealers, particularly ones that look legit, and I don't want to talk about the ones that are usually downtown that look like it's in a dodgy corner of the CBD where you expect to find stolen cell phones. I'm talking about ones that actually look legit, that are in sophisticated and well-looking shopping complexes that tell you that they sell second-hand electronics and appliances. Are they not being regularly inspected?
Those are the biggest problem, because in so far that they appear legit, they also get to be treated with soft gloves by the law enforcement, in the sense that they would simply go there to check generic compliance. Do they have their second goods certificate? Do they have all their compliance? But the phones are not checked one by one. It's similar to the second goods the vehicles that are being sold. The ones that appear to be legit are actually the ones that are selling mostly the vehicles that are clones and all that. So there need to be very deep ascertainment of these gadgets, where possible, on an individual basis. So if a second-hand dealer in a market or in an upmarket area is selling 2,000 iPhones in store, let us verify against each of these cell phones. And if it means on one day, let us focus only on one dealer. Let the law enforcement focus on one dealer, and they can now move to the next dealer on the next time. And if it means, let them check the IMEI numbers physically appearing on the phones, go and verify and then come back. Because this issue of doing it in bulk also does not yield the positive results.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Tabang Bohopa, thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate your insights and analysis there.